Yeah, I want to do a little bit about professionals and job security. Professionals and job security. I tell you, this is basically, I can see this with a lot of professionals: doctors, accountants, CPAs, attorneys, I don't know, investment managers, job security. The reason is a lot of the public don't know what the hell they do. You know, in the medical profession, it's like basically, if you want to know a lot of the medical terms, all you have to do is learn Latin. Because, it's something itis. Itis is an infection of, and you got the Latin term for the elbow. You got elbowitis. Basically, it's just to throw people. And anytime they make an observation, it's like I could say, I took this pen and I broke it. And they say, for Latin, broken pen. That's the ailment. But, when you say it in Latin, it's like, oh, what did he say? Oh, he must know. He's a doctor. So, that's job security. The other thing is all them freaking snake oil drugs these guys put out. I don't know. I'm just being bad here by saying that, but I guess their drugs do work in some cases. But the thing is, it has to be patented. For instance, they had they've been finding out B propolis has something in it that works against a lot of things that people could have problems with, right? B propolis. But, it's got hundreds of different things in it that could be the thing that's actually having the effect to knock down some kind of problem that a person might have, right? Well, they're not going to, they want to know, what they'll do is before they ever give that to anybody, they got to synthesize what's in that B propolis or whatever's in whatever to make it just theirs, so they have an exclusive patented formula that they can give to people, and they could say it with the Latin word what the problem is. You got this, some kind of itis, and give them like their patented medicines. They're basically drug dealers, right? It's job security, man. Job security, because nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about, man. That's really what it comes down to. Then you got another one out there, attorneys, the legal language, it's so freaking confusing. Like in layman's terms, it's like very difficult to figure out what the hell they're talking about, right? And you also have it in the accounting profession with the CPAs. If there was no IRS, if we didn't, in other words, the IRS really was unconstitutional. That's why they had to pass the 16th Amendment to the Constitution, right? It was unconstitutional, right? So if you do an amendment, I guess it's constitutional. It's still unconstitutional, but ain't a whole hell of a lot you could do about it. But the thing is, if you didn't have an IRS, how many CPAs would you need? It'd probably cut them down to like 10% of the number that they have today. It's like, and the regulations with the tax code, since they developed computers, they couldn't have these regulations back in 1965. Because, they're out there doing, with the adding machine, they would require like an army of people there freaking for days for what a computer can do in 10 minutes. So they make it more complex. Job security. Bureaucrats, a bunch of fucking, I can't stand them, man. And then, it's like, also you got the investments. I know Max Kaiser is pretty cool at explaining this, because this is how I looked at it. You got these tranches. They call them tranches. Tranche. It's like, you got like a security that's a good security, and you want to sell another security cheaper than that good security. So you take some bad securities, mix it in with the good securities, and make another security out of it. It's almost like, how you're feeding your dog or cat some food, and you got the real meat products, chicken and whatever it is, and turkey and liver or whatever, and salmon, and you want to mix some meat byproducts in it, and so you have a cheaper food, and you can put a fancier label on it, right? People understand that, but they don't understand it with financial instruments. They don't understand what's going into that kibasi or whatever the hell they're making. You know what I mean? They just put a fancy label on it and they sell it. People would understand, if they're at the butcher shop and they say, yeah, you put this junk in there, it's no good, I can see this fat in the meat and whatever. They don't see that when it's in the financial instruments. Max Kaiser points this out. It's pretty obvious. But, that's called job security, man, because people don't know what the hell you're talking about. Fucking asshole. That's why I hate professionals, man. But best thing to do is avoid them. So I tell you the truth, I like YouTube for this reason too. We can actually disseminate true information. And I think some of the safest medical information out there is with the stuff the ancients did. You know, it may not work as super good as, you know, the conspiracy theorists say, because there is a lot of good stuff that conventional medicine does, but, you know, they don't like other things that come from nature, because when you grow a plant, it just put them out of business, you know? That's the problem. And I know the deal about marijuana oil and hemp, and, you know, it cures all kinds of junk, and but they're not going to do that, you know. The problem is you can't even grow that because it's illegal. But I'm talking about like dandelion root and stuff like that. Professionals have to have big $5 words. They have to talk with a certain... See, I don't even like talking like that. I can play that game when I absolutely have to when I'm in a circle. I can actually play like I talk very educated. I don't talk like Joe Schmo or anything like that. I can actually talk a certain way when I have to. I hate it. I don't like playing that game. So, this is my own deal, so I can do whatever I want. But I understand professionals will inflect their voice a certain way so you buy the bullshit $5 words they're throwing at you. It's called job security. They're bullshit. So just beware. And on YouTube, we got freedom. I also want to point out something else about YouTube. You know, and actually Google. You know, sometimes people say Google's spying on everybody. But you know what? They couldn't make any big inroads into major networks. YouTube and Google, they couldn't. The major networks is a real racket. That's a real conspiratorial racket, big time, man. It's an inside game all the way. So, you know, I want to actually say here on the end here, YouTube, you know, sometimes people are critical of it, but it's really a pretty damn wide open forum. And it's 1,000 times better than what you get out of the major media, by far. So that's one thing I think is cool. So I'm going to continue on with this junk for a lot, because I like doing it. But sometimes I work in accounting downtown, so people are curious, you know. But I'd rather do this, to tell you the truth. It's more fun.